we're shooting a video. All right, let's go. Ikigai, you're probably doing it wrong. Why? Because a lot of these coaches, influencers, and self-development junkies that are out there, they're actually feeding you the wrong information. Oh, let the controversy begin. So in this video, I want to explain why a lot of these influencers that are out there, they're actually like feeding you the wrong information, and they're really messing you up when it comes to living like a very well-rounded and fulfilling and purposeful life. So they're sort of preaching what I call oversimplified metrics, okay, which I'll explain a lot more in this video. But essentially, it's like they're leaving out key information, or they're unaware of key information that is contributing to your overall success. So I want to talk a bit more in detail about Ikigai. Ikigai is not an oversimplified system, okay? It's well-rounded, it's well-layered, and it gives you a compass, it gives you a roadmap on the best way to sort of go about your life so that you're sort of getting everything that you need, and you can live a life with very minimal compromise. So in this video, I want to explain some of the missing pieces, some of the things that other influencers I believe have left out, so that you can totally crush it and you can live the best life possible. Hey, if you don't know me, I'm Dice. I help young, analytical, and logically minded men discover their purpose so that you can live your life with clarity, meaning, and direction. If you like this sort of content, then please hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, or is that in reverse? And maybe even leave a comment in the comment section below on a video that you think that I'd be able to produce for you so that you can live a better life, and you maybe just got a few questions that you want answered. All right, let's get cracking into the video. So what is Ikigai? So I explained this in more detail in a previous video, but essentially what it is what you're good at, what you love, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. So in this video, I want to explain a bit more about how these ideas like mesh together and overlap, and how some of these influencers and coaches that are out there, they're actually falling into these particular segments, and they're kind of like disregarding the rest, and how that could affect your long-term future. So another thing is, if you're only watching like short form self-development content through like Instagram or like YouTube shorts, or like very like surface level stuff on the internet, you're only sort of seeing like a snippet, like a very small part of that information, and you're sort of not, you're getting a bigger picture of like how all this puzzle sort of goes together. So if you don't have an understanding of this, this is really messing you up, okay? You don't understand how this information could actually be affecting you at different stages and at different at different parts of your life. You never get a full understanding of how to apply that information, and then what happens is you start to go through and start to look at different influences, and you start to get confused. And when you're confused, what do? You do nothing, okay? Your mind just doesn't know what to do, so it's sort of like, I'll wait till I get the right information. But if you continually get into this pattern of like waiting for the right information, nothing really happens. So let's start here, okay? So what you're good at and what you love is considered to be a passion, okay? So let's talk about some of these influencers that push this whole idea of just blindly following your passion, okay? And how that might actually affect your life in negative ways. So this is where a lot of the like broke, long-haired woo-woo coaches are, okay? We call them the like delusional fairy tale crowd. They've got this whole idea, like, I'll try and put it on for a moment. It's like, just stay positive. Just read The Secret. Just don't do anything that's hard, okay? So their whole idea that they're pushing is just like blindly follow your passion, okay? Follow your heart. Don't do anything too hard. If it seems too hard, it just wasn't meant to be, okay? And if you just follow your heart, follow your passion, you'll never work a day in your life, okay? They say all these things that are along these lines. Let me just tell you, you're wrong, okay? You're freaking wrong, okay? Why? Because if you just blindly follow your passion with no regard to actually like what makes you good money, you're going to be just over broke most of your life, okay? You're going to work until you're 75 years old. You're not going to be able to save for things when things go wrong, because things will go wrong, trust me, okay? So if you just blindly follow your passion, it's just not going to work out for you. These influencers, they set you up for financial disaster, okay? It's just ridiculous. So they might actually help you with like your initial awakening, which obviously does have some value, but you're actually going to be wasting a lot of time on the wrong things, okay? You're going to be sort of, they're going to push a lot of these ideas upon you of like rocks and chakras and all of these like manifest your future without actually doing any work. All these ideas that are really going to mess you up. So do yourself a favor and don't just blindly follow your passion, okay? It's a terrible, terrible idea. So the next segment is what you love and what the world needs. Okay, so this is considered to be a mission. So let's talk about some of the influences that fall into this segment with this whole idea of just like blindly following your mission. Now, let's be honest, okay, from time to time, my content actually falls into this segment. But yeah, if it's going to be taken out of context, of course it's going to. So yeah, this segment is a little bit better than the first one, but it does have its like inherent flaws. So at least by now, the influences that are in this like particular segment, they are at the service of other people, okay? They have recognized that their value in today's society, in today's world, that you need to be very good at understanding other people's problems and to be able to solve other people's problems. However, there is a key problem here, okay? There is a lack of focus on income. At its extreme, this is like the tree hugger, like the triggered broke activist, okay, that is actually like secretly angry and is trying to push their agenda onto you. Why are they trying to push their agenda onto you? Because they're trying to make money so that they can actually feed their cause, okay, which is understandable. Like it makes sense in their particular small world. Now, these influencers are guaranteed to have like a Patreon account or some sort of like way of donating to them. Why? Because they fail to actually monetize their talents. They fail to monetize and make enough money to be able to fuel their cause. Okay. So these people, they don't understand the importance of money. They don't view money as a form of energy. And because of this, they're actually broke. Okay. They don't actually have a lot of income coming in. So if you listen to these types of people, you're going to end up just like them, okay? And is that something you really want? Probably not, okay? So do yourself a favor and take a step back and have a look at all of these other like ways that these are actually overlapping so that you can live a better life. So the next segment is what the world needs and what you can be paid for, okay? So this is considered to be a vocation. So let's talk about an influencer that I look up to dearly that falls into this particular category. So don't get me wrong, okay? I love Grant Cardone, okay? I consider him to be a hero, and I talk not to him, but about him a lot in my videos because I resonate a lot with his content. However, let's be honest, Grant Cardone falls into this category of vocational influencers. So Grant Cardone talks a lot about focusing just on money and just focusing on what the world needs, okay? His famous quote, I think I got it written down here, it says, put all your attention on creating income and completely disregard everything else, okay? So in order for you to be financially successful in any area, you'd have to be very good at that vocation. You'd have to be very good at understanding, what does the world need? And what at the same time, what can I actually be paid for? Okay, so that's very important. But where would this mentality lead you in the long run? Okay, well, certainly better than the first two. Okay, a lot better than the first two. So, but when you're actually like rolling around in cash and you're financially well off, you might get to a point where you realize that you've gotten good at something that you're not super passionate about. Okay, and you don't enjoy and you don't love. Okay, so you didn't actually like stop to smell the roses per se, something that you didn't actually learn how to do some presence work. So getting some sort of like spiritual mentor would actually help you a lot in going more so away from money, more to like, oh, I'm actually enjoying my life better. Whereas the people on this side of the spectrum is what we talked about earlier. They're fucking broke, but they're real like spiritual, man. They're all like freaking, too much that way. We're trying to find a better balance for all this sort of stuff, okay? So at least if you're here, okay, let's say you are here, you can afford to get the best services, okay? And usually things that are good cost money, okay? If you want the best mentors, if you want the best influencers, if you want the best products, typically you spend more, you get more, okay? And because you've got the money, you're able to go and like, if you dare to actually go and get like better options, you dare to actually find an influencer that you really resonate with, maybe even myself, you can actually go out and seek help, and you can actually afford to pay for those services instead of being only reliant on books and the internet and your crummy social circle. Yeah, Grant Cardone sort of pushes these whole ideas of like just being good at a vocation, and it worked for him up until a certain point, but I think to some degree he doesn't recognize that he delegates a lot of the tasks that he doesn't want to do out to other people. Hey, if you're getting some out of this video, then hit the like button and subscribe, and don't forget the bell notification. It helps the channel out a great deal, and also I'd hate for you to miss out any more content that I've got coming up on topics like this. All right, cool. All right, so before we cover off on the last segment, I've actually got here a few notes that I want to cover off on, just so that you get the best out of this video. So by now you're starting to recognize that a lot of these influencers that are out there, they are operating in very two overlaps, okay? They're only really seeing maybe one or maybe two of these segments, and they're failing to see the other half of Ikigai, okay? They think that these ideas only really exist in silos, and there's no synergy between these ideas, and there's no spectrum. They don't understand the whole idea of synergies and spectrum. So they're not asking the main questions, the four main questions at the same time. They're only really seeing how one or maybe two of these questions can overlap, and then focusing in on there with complete disregard to the other side. They're operating in very simple truths, okay? It's very two-dimensional, and thinking this way tends to waste a lot of your time, okay? It might help you sort of get in the general right direction, but once you get to a certain point, you realize, wait a minute, there's a whole other part of this that I'm missing here. The focus that you should be on is the four overarching questions, and not the actual ways that they actually overlap each other. You shouldn't be focusing on the actual segments, okay? You got to be focusing on those four questions at the same time. What are you good at? What does the world need? What can you be paid for? And what do you love, okay? Focus on those four questions and bring your attention to them briefly, just to check your idea and see, does it fit into all of these four questions well? And if so, continue on with it. So the last segment is what you're good at and what you can be paid for, okay? So this is considered to be a profession. So what sort of influences are in this category, or segment I should say? Well, essentially it's the mainstream school system. You've been indoctrinated, you've been conditioned by the mainstream school system to be an excellent cog in the machine. I don't really need to elaborate much here, okay? If you're watching my channel, you're probably in this segment, okay? You're getting paid because you're particularly good at a particular skill set. You're somewhat comfortable and you're making okay money, but it kind of feels like there's something spiritually lacking in your life, okay? You lack the alignment with the mission of your company, or you're just sort of going through the things for the sake of going through things. There's a feeling of emptiness inside, and you're not really sure why, okay? You kind of feel like somewhere along the way someone lied to you about what you should be doing, okay? Somebody pushed an idea at you and you sort of just accepted it, and you went along with it, and you know it's helped you get to this certain level in your life, but there's something definitely missing, okay? And also why wasn't these sort of things taught to you at school? It seemed why wasn't it actually part of the curriculum? It was never even a question in the first place to sort of go after something that you're passionate about. It didn't really make any sense. So yeah, if you're here and you're a little bit lost, okay, you can't seem to find out what your purpose is, what your mission is, and you can't seem to try and work out how to ask all these questions, and you need a better roadmap. You really want to dive way deep into this, and you want to ask yourself the right questions, and you need a mentor, somebody to be able to guide you through these processes, and you're ready to go down the rabbit hole, to go down a very it's going to be painful, let's be honest, okay? It's going to be a painful journey of self-discovery, but I can guarantee you, if you actually go through this process, you spend the time and attention and detail to yourself because you deserve it, you're going to come out on the other side a completely changed man, okay? You're going to have a sense of purpose, you're going to have a sense of a reason to live, a reason to get out of bed in the morning, and it's going to be an incredible life from here on in. Okay, if this sounds like something that you're interested in, then hit the like button and subscribe, and potentially maybe even reach out to me on Instagram, okay? You and I can actually get on a one-on-one discovery call, see if we're actually a good fit, see if we actually see eye to eye, and if we are a good fit, then I'll put you through my mentoring program, and shit's gonna change for the better, okay? With that being said, thanks so much for watching, and this is Dice out.